Welcome to Monday Morning Dharma on February 23rd. So, we're going to meditate this morning on patient acceptance, and I'm going to guide us, as always, through the meditation. But before I do, I just wanted to provide, again, a little bit of explanation in terms of why we do what we do in our meditation technique. Um, Sitting quietly and thinking about an object, I guess we can call anything meditation, but I would call that a not particularly fruitful form of meditation. I mean, if we sit and think about the thing, I think we will get a better intellectual understanding of what the thing is, but it won't change our mind. It won't change our view of the thing. It won't change our heart. What Reggie Ray calls existential change, a change in the way that we exist in the world, comes through meditating from a place of awareness. And as I've said a couple of times recently, the yoga of the thing, not becoming one with it, recognizing that we already are one with it, and just becoming familiar with that unity. Yoga, of course, meaning to unify. So, the way we do all of that is to get to a place of non conceptual, i.e., non thinking awareness, right? Because at the end of the day, thoughts and concepts get in the way of experiencing the fundamental essence of the thing. Okay? We cease the thinking mind, we cease conceptual thought, we get to a place of non conceptual awareness, and then we just rest with our object of meditation and unify with it. How do we get to a place of non conceptual awareness? Things you're familiar with. For us, it's meditation on the inner body. For others, it's the breath, right? Um, I've introduced, this meditation. I don't do it very often, but maybe I should. Ringing radiance or the celestial sound. But I don't want to distract us too much this morning. What we're going to do is, as always, meditation on the inner body. Get to the place of non-conceptual awareness and then just rest with our object of meditation. Unify or recognize our unification with our object of meditation, that we're already not separate from it. We just rest and come to a place of knowing of our not being separate from it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture. Allow your mountain body to rest. Allow your mountain body to ground and be balanced, stable, aware, resting in wisdom awareness. Inhale, silently recite the word rest. At the top of the inhalation, silently relax. On the exhalation, allow. Allow yourself to awaken to the fact that you are not separate from anyone or anything. Your natural state is that of yoga, of being unified. Please bring your awareness to your face and allow all of the tiny muscles and nerves that are in your face, all of your facial muscles, to become soft and completely relaxed. Your facial muscles become so soft and relaxed that it might feel as though the pores of your skin are opening up now. The muscles in your chest become soft and relaxed, and your lungs are now able to perform perfectly and without effort their natural function of breathing. The muscles in your hips and your pelvic area, as well as the muscles in your legs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, and toes. One by one, these muscle sets become completely soft and completely relaxed. Your body is a mountain with consciousness now. And let yourself go. When you encounter a situation that you find undesirable, you have two choices. You can resist or you can accept. Resisting what is will perpetuate your suffering. Accepting what is will free you from your suffering. Please know that patience is not gritting your teeth and putting up with something. Patience is a mind that wholeheartedly accepts whatever arises, having abandoned the notion that things should be other than what they are. Please know this truth about patient acceptance. If you perfect your practice of patient acceptance, you will never suffer again in this lifetime. So for now, I'd like you to please just rest in acceptance. And in doing so, please conjoin your resting in acceptance with meditation on the inner body. Observe sensations within your inner body as you rest in acceptance, as you return home to acceptance. The tea bag resting in water is one with the water. Be one with acceptance as you silently observe sensations within your inner body. The conceptualized maintenance of vows actually causes you to impair the meaning of samaya. Without mental directedness or mental activity, be free of all intentionality. Thoughts are self-arisen and self-pacified like designs on the surface of water. If you do not pass beyond the meaning, which is not abiding, and not conceptualizing or focusing, then through not passing beyond that, you do not pass beyond or transgress samaya. This is the torch which dispels all obscurity or darkness. Now please redirect your awareness. Become aware again of your physical body and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, becoming aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. And we dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May the human beings of this world soon come to have reverence and respect for our natural world. May we soon come to live in harmony with our natural world. And may we soon come to have reverence and respect for the animals who make their homes in the natural world. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Very much.
Where was that quote from, Jeff?
From the Ganges Mahamudra.
There was a lot packed in there.
There is a lot packed in there. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term samaya, samaya more or less means the practice of moral discipline. The conceptualized maintenance of vows actually causes you to impair the meaning of samaya. Like if we think about doing the right thing, it's not quite a pure practice. That's what Tilopa, the author of the Ganges Mahamudra, is pointing to. This is the torch which dispels all obscurity or darkness. This going beyond the conceptualized maintenance of vows, the conceptualized doing of anything, right? There's a being that's involved. Okay, we could spend so much time on that. The Heart Sutra waits. The Heart Sutra awaits us. Just so you know, just for the sake of clarity, the Heart Sutra is kind of an informal reference to this teaching, this sutra. The formal teaching is called the Essence of Wisdom Sutra, the Essence of Wisdom Sutra. But the whole world calls it the Heart Sutra, so that's fine too. So we are on the second noble truth. You should abandon origins. We've talked some about the two root delusions of anger or aversion and desires attachment. For this class and the next one, and maybe the one after that, we're going to talk about the root delusion, which is ignorance. But before we do, I just want to briefly go back to the root delusions of aversion and attachment. Aversion, thinking that something external to us is unpleasant or bad. Desires attachment, thinking that something external to us is favorable or good, pleasant or good. Okay. If we stop and think about that, about the two, aversion, attachment, we know that these are projections of our mind. If we really think about it, we know that these are subjective assessments on our part, right? Like one of the first lessons we learned, maybe even as children, is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Pleasantness is in the eyes of the beholder. Unpleasantness is in the eyes of the beholder, right? So we can glean from that there's a subjectivity, a fundamental subjectivity, and therefore unreliability with regard to what we perceive as being pleasant and unpleasant. Okay, we know this is true at some really deep fundamental level. Our thinking mind oftentimes will go to extremes, right? We'll go to extremes. And one of the I don't know, an often frequented what about is the Holocaust. The Holocaust in World War II. We think, how can how can it be said that that's not a bad thing, that that's not intrinsically and inherently a bad thing? And that's a very valid, maybe the most valid objection. Um, I'm not going to get into how the perception of the Holocaust is subjective. Um, what I would rather do is encourage us to not take such extreme examples, especially of things that happened in the past. Maybe let's not start with the most difficult thing for us to wrap our head around, whatever it might be, and sort of start with our life, with our real-time life and real life things that like push our buttons, more moderate examples, things that our partner does that gets on our nerves, you know, that we don't understand, gets on our nerves, right? For me, this mannerism of my partner, my partner's mother is here, so I need to be careful. I'm talking in the hypothetical. My partner has no shortcomings and nothing that pushes me buttons. What I find to be an irritant might be endearing to someone else, right? We've seen this before over and over. Like that, oh, your wife does this funny, quirky thing. It's so cute. And we're like, this, this is the part where I don't say anything, right? The litmus test is if a thing were fundamentally good or fundamentally bad, essentially, intrinsically, at its core, everybody would perceive it the same way, right? And no such thing exists. No such thing, right? So the Heart Sutra takes it to the next level. So we can all, at some level, we have the wisdom to recognize that qualitatively, it's a subjective assessment by our mind, right? It's subjective and therefore not absolute in a qualitative sense. Teachings on wisdom realizing emptiness in the Essence of Wisdom Sutra say that even existentially, even existentially, things are a subjective creation of the mind. You can see why the brainiacs love this. It's just like, what? How can that be? We look at the world and all of the things in it as though they have independent, a key word in these wisdom realizing emptiness teachings is inherent. Like they have inherent existence. They exist inherently from their own side, independent of everything else. Okay. Take a building. Take a building. We look, the building that Lotus Center is in. Our mind is in sort of this constant state of what you see is what you get. That's a building. What's to not understand? It's a building. And conventionally, we all agree on that. It's a building. But we take it further and ascribe to it inherent existence, like it exists from its own side without our mind having anything to do with it. Warning you guys, I might run over a couple of minutes. If you guys have to leave, it's okay. And if you Zoomers have to sign off, it's okay. But this is one of those really important ones that I can't cut short, but I won't go over by a long time. We see the building, we say, there's the building, it exists. What's to not understand? Well, it exists independence on things, right? The building depends on other things to exist. So it doesn't exist independently, and it doesn't exist inherently. If it depends on other things to exist, then it doesn't exist independently. Can we all agree on that? Yeah. Inherently, we might have to contemplate that a little bit more, and contemplation is allowed and encouraged in all Dharma aspects, including wisdom realizing emptiness. Okay. What does this building depend upon? It depends upon parts, right? This building consists of a roof, sheetrock, plumbing, flooring, subflooring, electrical wiring, light bulbs, chair rails. You guys online can't see, but there are chair rails here that I'm referring to. And those parts, those individual parts depend on parts. Okay? The wiring depends on, what is it? The electrical system depends on wiring, which consists of copper, right? And other metal stuff, housing. The copper has different elements to it, right? Those parts depend on parts, they depend on parts, and ultimately, building, inherently, independently existing building disappears in its parts, right? The building is a collection of parts, which with our mind, we mentally assimilate, bring all together and say, building, poof, building. And we take it a step further and say, independently existing building, right? What you see is what you get. It's an independently, inherently existing building, as though our mind has nothing to do with it. And by the way, just because we are all having the same dream about building, about the independently, inherently existing building, just because we're all perceiving it the same way, having the same dream, doesn't make it any more real. It doesn't mean that we're any less confused about what's really going on. Okay. Last thing I want to share with you, and we'll get to like a really important object of contemplation, the most important object of contemplation in Friday's class. But for now, I want you to please contemplate this, and we've done this in our meditations, especially Medicine Buddha meditation. What is stillness? Stillness is the mere absence of movement. There is nothing more to stillness than this absence. It is the absence of movement that defines stillness. Stillness is the mere absence of movement. The mere means, M-E-R-E, mere means there's nothing more to it. Okay. What is silence? The mere absence of sound. What is darkness? The mere absence of light. What is the fundamentally defining aspect of phenomena? We're coming back to emptiness. What is the fundamentally defining aspect of phenomena? Its mere absence of inherent existence. Its mere absence of inherent qualities. It is this absence that defines phenomena. The absence of inherent existence, intrinsic qualities, intrinsic aspects. It's that absence that defines all phenomena. That's emptiness. That's what the Heart Sutra says is its most fundamental essence. My teacher wrote 2 entire books on emptiness, and I tried to address it in 13 minutes. So it's really profound. It's really deep. Please rest with this, and we'll talk about it more on Friday. And I'll give some like reference guide, some reference tools, some reference resources to learn more about emptiness on your own. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here. Have a blessed, blessed day.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye-bye.